We now quickly move to the latest from foodworldorder.com with a story that we went into in greater detail on the latest episode of The New World next week. We're going to have to go over it quickly right now as we're running out of time. The Monsanto GM seed ban overturned by Supreme Court. We reposted from the BBC, the biotech company Monsanto can sell genetically modified seeds before safety tests on them are completed, the U.S. Supreme Court has ruled. However, the flip side of this, and we can get it from grist.org, as well as an update from this morning from gmwatch.org on how the media got the GM alfalfa ruling wrong, in that basically this story is about the Supreme Court overturning a lower court's ruling, saying that that lower court overstepped its bounds within this legalese world. It doesn't mean, I believe, at this point, that this GM alfalfa is good to go. And again, more from gmwatch.org, as well as Organic Consumers Association and all that. Couple related updates. 56 lawmakers asked the USDA to deny GMO alfalfa. More on that from Food Safety News. GM Watch, again, gets into the Lugar-Casey bill on GM and Bill Gates, and hopefully figuring out what's going on. Bayer withdraws their GM rice application in Brazil. Bayer, of course, connected to the Nazis and all of that. From Time Magazine, cartoon characters sell kids on unhealthy food. If your kid's on the Dora Explorer diet, they'll say that food tastes better when a familiar cartoon character like Dora or Scooby-Doo appears on its packaging, new study finds. More on this from U.S. News, and this is going to be in the July issue of Pediatrics. And the related story out of the UK from The Telegraph, 40,000 deaths a year due to junk food in the UK. Our last post on Food World Order, and on this episode 175, the 624 Binge and Purge, Food, Facts, and Fiction. We'll first note that Big Brother is watching you, and he has ice cream. A bizarre advertising campaign. More on that from consumerist.com. The strange story of the pork board squealing over imaginary unicorn meat. The National Pork Board says it knows unicorns don't exist. The industry group says it was only protecting its trademark when it issued cease and desist warning to online retailer Think Geek for calling a fake unicorn meat product the new white meat. Second Oregon salmonella victim to sue ConAgra. More on that from Food Safety News. And as if those first few stories weren't satirical enough, we're going to close out the rest of it with a rapid blast from the only place that really does satire right, with a recent rash of Food World Order-related satire from The Onion.
A PepsiCo marketing mix-up results in lemon-lime Doritos. It's the Onion Radio News. I'm Doyle Redland. PepsiCo executives are blaming interdepartmental miscommunication for the recent national rollout of Citrus Blast lemon-lime Doritos. PepsiCo Director of Product Development Jim Schumann apologized for the millions of bags of sweet, tangy tortilla chips now glutting the nation's supermarkets.
We made a mistake. Please bear with us while these unfortunate chips are removed from store shelves.
Schumann went on to apologize for the millions of 2-liter bottles of zesty jalapeno Mountain Dew, also available nationwide. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com. An all-natural food preservative causes all-natural cancer. It's the Onion Radio News. I'm Doyle Redland. The Food and Drug Administration announced today that Friculan D, a natural food preservative made from processed seaweed roots, causes a rare but healthy terminal carcinoma. FDA spokesman Charles Lapodia has more.
This is a hearty, natural cancer caused by exposure to the chemical-free preservatives in soy milk, wheat-free garden burgers, and a variety of other all-natural products.
Doctors say Friculan D kills 100% organically. Doyle Redland for the Onion Radio News, online at theonion.com.
96,000 pounds of tainted beef have been recalled today from the Wharton family of Bricksville, Ohio. The USDA issued Recall after E. coli bacterium was discovered at the West Meat Company, which produced and packaged the beef Mrs. Wharton purchased during her grocery shopping trip.
Oh, it was scary. Now every time I bring home a couple tons of beef for my family, I'll be wondering if it can make them sick.
The 90% of the beef purchased by the Whartons in the past week is affected by the recall, including 2,000 pounds located by federal officials in the Whartons' main refrigerator, another 49,000 pounds in the refrigerator in the garage, and the remaining 45,000 pounds split evenly between the two beef freezers in the basement. While the family was disappointed to part with so much beef, Mrs. Wharton said that she felt lucky.
I mean, I can always make another batch of my 23 meat chili, but really what's most important is my family's health. I'll just go to the store tomorrow and tow home another trailer full of beef. I mean, life goes on.
E. coli is especially fatal in young children, which led to a scare for the Whartons when youngest son Jake complained of flu-like symptoms after eating several dozen flank steaks for breakfast.
My stomach hurt. I felt icky and I couldn't even finish my beef.
He was sweating a lot more than usual.
USDA officials are investigating if the tainted beef infected any other food products it may have come in contact with. So far, the outbreak appears to be limited to beef. In the meantime, the Whartons will have to make do with their reserve of 6,000 pounds of beef shank crosscuts with which they had planned to make a stew.
I'd hate to dig up the pork capsule in the backyard unless it's totally necessary.
Moving on now, a new CIA report shows Al-Qaeda is still a thing.
Oh, Onion, how I love thee. You do satire right. My friends, that's going to do it for episode 175 of MediaMonarchy.com, June 25th, 2010. We're going to quickly go out with creepy customers coming to MediaMonarchy.com in the past week. Agricultural research and education out of Fars, Iran. They Googled the Black Sun prophecy. The U.S. Department of Transportation. Some company called Cyvalence out of Washington, D.C. hit me up from twitter.com/MediaMonarchy. We had the USAISC headquarters out of Junction City, Kansas, as well as out of Sierra Vista, Arizona. We had the Catholic Diocese of San Jose. They Googled Pat Tillman. And lastly, we had the banksters at American Express visiting MediaMonarchy.com. You guys, I couldn't have made it to episode 175 without you. I love you and appreciate all your help. We all share this information and open source intelligence, and that's how we're all going to grow and get stronger every day. My name's James Evan Pilato. I'm your host and webmaster of the site and show at MediaMonarchy.com, reminding you, as always, to get active or get radioactive. Take care.
MediaMonarchy.com is your source for alternative news, politics, conspiracies and cover-ups. Featuring weekly radio shows on the Portland Radio Authority, PRAradio.org, the New World Next Week video series with CorbettReport.com, plus special interview episodes, B-sides, mixtapes and so much more. Send news tips to MediaMonarchy@gmail.com. You can make a donation, or mail media to the Monarchy, at P.O. Box 12165, Portland, Oregon 97212. Thanks to all the internet and community radio stations who broadcast these shows, and most of all, thanks to you. Remember, don't hate the media, become the media.
Whether he went on with the diary, or whether he did not go on with it, made no difference. The thought police would get him just the same.